according to today's press briefing. The SCO Summit 18th meeting of Council of Heads of State will take place on the 9th and 10th of June at Qingdao city of Shandong province. President Xi Jinping will chair the meeting and host a series of activities. Leaders of SCO member states, observer states, and representatives of international organizations will be attending the summit at China's invitation. The Qingdao summit is drawing near. The aspiring China, hospitable Shandong province, and beautiful and fashionable city of Qingdao are all ready to embrace the distinguished guests. This meeting is the first summit since SCO admitted new members, and also the second major event that China hosts this year. At that time, President Xi, together with the leaders of other 7 member states, 4 observer states, and leading officials of the United Nations and international organizations, discuss cooperation plans. President Xi will host welcoming banquet for distinguished guests, and they will enjoy a firework performance. He will also chair a small group and a large group meeting in which participants will discuss the current status and future prospect of SCO and future cooperation and major international and regional issues to build common consensus, so that the SCO will further strengthen cooperation to contribute more to regional peace and development. President Xi and other leaders will sign and issue the Qingdao Declaration. They will approve the 5-year implementation program for the long-term good neighborliness, friendship, and cooperation, and the next 3-year cooperation program against 3 forces, altogether over 10 cooperation documents covering security, economy, and people-to-people cooperation. President Xi will also invite presidents of Russia, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, and Iran to pay visit to China, and he will also have bilateral meetings with other leaders. Dear friends from the press, 17 years ago, the SCO was established in China. At Astana summit last year, China took over the presidency again. During the year as the president, we have been carrying forward the Shanghai spirit, tap potential for the enlarged SCO, promote solidarity, cooperation, and pursue stability and shared development. With the support of various parties, we have hosted the Foreign Ministers meeting, Defense Ministers meeting, Security Council Secretaries meeting, Presidents of Supreme Court meeting, Culture Ministers meeting, and other important institutionalized meetings. We have organized the SCO Cultural Festival, Youth Exchange Camp, People's Forum, Political Parties Forum, Women's Forum, among other large-scale events. The total number is over 160. Throughout the year, China's presidency is characterized by clear highlights, with creative, diverse, and rich activities throughout the year with broad participation. So the objectives have been met and the activities have been well received. Political mutual trust has been elevated, security coordination has made new progress, practical cooperation has made new breakthroughs, and people-to-people exchanges have made new headways. All this has laid a solid foundation for the success of the Qingdao Summit and laid the good groundwork. Qingdao is the hub of sailing. We hope that the SCO can embark on a new journey from Qingdao in the context of the new era, build new consensus, formulate new measures, draw new blueprints, and achieve new development. First, we hope to build new consensus for greater solidarity. Only by remembering why we start could we reach our goals. We will issue the Qingdao Declaration that will sum up the experience of the SCO in the past 17 years and continue to carry forward the Shanghai spirit characterized by mutual trust, mutual benefit, equality, consultation, respect for cultural diversity, and common development. to elevate the cohesion, effectiveness, and influence of the organization. In the face of the complex and changing international situation, the summit will focus on building a community of shared future for mankind and a new type of international relations featuring mutual respect, equity, just, and win-win cooperation to build a greater consensus and to renew Shanghai spirit in the new context. The purpose is to further elevate solidarity and mutual trust of the SCO member states and build a stronger foundation for its future. Second, formulate new measures for common security. Regional security and stability is a shared concern of SCO member states. To strike three forces, drug trafficking and cybercrimes is the priority for cooperation. They will also be high on the agenda of the upcoming summit. During the summit, leaders will look into the international and regional security situation, identify priorities and underlying risks and challenges, explore ways to elevate and broaden security cooperation, and enrich experience of security cooperation. They will review documents on the strike against three forces and cyber crimes and drug crimes. This will help solidify the legal framework for security cooperation and will show up the resolve of parties to collectively address uncertainties and destabilizing factors and elevate the coordination among competent departments so that we will contribute Shanghai's strength to world peace by stronger regional security and stability. Third, provide new impetus for shared development. Shanghai spirit stresses solidarity and mutual trust. The aim is common development. The summit will pay high attention to development issues. The organization has become the largest comprehensive regional cooperation organization in terms of geographical coverage and population. The potential is further elevated, as well as its international influence. The summit will focus on global governance reform and the multilateral trading regime. We will issue clear voice and advocate innovative, coordinated, green, open, and shared development to create more favorable external environment for development of member states. A series of documents will be passed covering customs, agriculture, environment, and tourism, among others. They will also be accompanied by detailed action plans so that the political consensus will be translated into deliverables and provide fresh impetus to shared development. Fourth, we will draw up a new blueprint for building the common home. We are neighbors and we share similar development objectives. The past 17 years have taught us that good neighborliness and friendship are the way to development and revitalization of all countries. Right now, the SCO is standing at a fresh starting point and is shouldering the pressing need or task of maintaining regional stability and promoting economic development. People have high expectations of the summit, and the international community is watching the summit closely. The summit will continue to carry forward the Shanghai spirit and remain committed to enduring friendship, give full play to the fine tradition of solidarity and coordination, and try to reach new consensus on maintaining regional peace and security and accelerated and integrated development of SCO member states. We will formulate new plans. The summit will also create greater synergy of our development strategies to provide stronger common drivers for growth, in particular to advance Belt and Road Initiative to elevate the overall level of regional cooperation. In general, we hope that the summit will come up with a blueprint for development that has clear and comprehensive plans and pathways. Dear friends, Shandong province is a well-known home of Confucius and Mencius. It's one of the cradles of the Chinese civilization. Qingdao is the first coastal city to open up and also an important part of the Belt and Road Initiative. The Qingdao in summer is characterized by a coastline dotted with sailing boats. I'm confident that the participants will have an opportunity to experience this traditional culture and have first-hand experience of the dynamism of China's reform and opening up. I firmly believe that Shanghai Summit will become another new milestone in the development process of the SCO. Thank you. Thank you very much, State Councillor Wang. So that concludes the first part of our briefing. State Councillor Wang will now leave us.
All right. So we have just been listening to Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi address the media about the upcoming 18th Shanghai Cooperation Organization summit that will be taking place in Qingdao. Let's bring in our current affairs commentator now, Victor Gao.
Thank you for having me.
So, Victor, what's your take here? What exactly is the goal of this year's summit, you think?
As the State Councillor and Foreign Minister Wang Yi pointed out just now, this SCO summit will be the first SCO summit after the expansion of the membership from original 6 to now 8 members, and bringing in both India and Pakistan. So this is, as Minister Wang Yi said, a landmark event. And he also emphasized that the summit will take place in the coastal city of Qingdao, and talked about the attractions and the beauties of the Qingdao. And this is also in line of a new situation started by President Xi Jinping. Originally, all these major international conferences will be convened here in Beijing, but now more and more these summit meetings, international conferences are rotating through other major cities in China, and each time a city is chosen to host such important meetings, it becomes a very major event for that city itself, but also for the rest of China. So I think China definitely wants to showcase the port city of Qingdao for this SCO, and to enable the leaders of the SCO countries, including Pakistan and India, to talk about how to enhance their trust and mutual confidence, build up measures of confidence, and to ensure peace and stability in this part of the world. So I think we are all looking forward to that, and in the coming days and weeks, probably lots of preparation will be done, leading to the successful convening of this summit.
Absolutely. And you mentioned India and Pakistan now being included in the SCO member states, which now means it accounts for half of the world's population, over 20% of global GDP. That's significant. What do you think these member states can come together and truly decide on? The foreign minister there was speaking about coming up with some sort of security coalition, talking about global governance and shared development. What do you think the true goal is for these member states?
Well, the SCO started with a major mission of fighting against the terrorism, extremism, and the separatism. And these three evils, as we call them, still exist in this part of the world. However, I think with the passage of time, SCO also is becoming more and more aware of the need to enhance security in other respects. For example, one of the observer states, Iran, is also attending, and the Chinese President Xi Jinping is inviting the head of state of Iran to come to Beijing for a state visit. And Iran, as we know, is involved in very, very dangerous geopolitical situations, with the United States withdrawing from the Iran nuclear deal. And what will happen in Iran and in that part of the world has implications for SCO. So I think this time for the SCO's heads of state to sit down to talk about the situation, definitely it may include the Iranian situation, and whether these member states or observer states can really make joint actions, or whether in the Qingdao Declaration some reference can be made to the collective position about how the Iranian situation should be dealt with. All this is going to happen in the Qingdao summit.
So you mentioned that the SCO had started to really focus on regional security. We heard from the foreign minister there's going to be talk about how to deal with drug trafficking, talking about cybercrime and how to deal with cybercrime as well. What is your assessment overall of the SCO's performance?
Well, I think it's a very splendid performance, I would say, mainly because in a short period of about 17 years, the SCO managed to bring these countries, mostly in Central Asia, together. And don't forget, Afghanistan has been plagued with war and internal strife and terrorism for all these years. And with the existence an expansion of SCO, I think we have a better way to deal with the crisis coming out of Afghanistan. And I think it really enhances mutual trust, helping to improve regional cooperation as well as security arrangement. And also, these member states and observer states overlap with what China is promoting for the One Belt, One Road initiative, even though SCO is mostly focused on security arrangement, whereas One Belt, One Road is promoting infrastructure connectivity. The fact that these countries overlap, they are both members of the SCO as well as participating countries in the One Belt, One Road initiative, make it easier for us to promote both initiatives, and also enhancing cultural understanding exchanges between and among these member states and observer states also make it easier for us here, for people in these countries to really increase their understanding of each other.
Absolutely. All right, current affairs commentator Victor Gao, thank you so much for your insight.
Thank you.
And we have much more international news straight ahead. Stay with us. You're watching The World Today. The leading candidates in Colombia's presidential ballot voted on Sunday. And according to the latest polls, conservative candidate Iván Duque has taken a commanding lead in the election. He is challenged by leftist Gustavo Petro, who is polling second at 10 points behind. The country's president, Juan Manuel Santos, cast his vote in the capital of Bogotá. More than 36 million people are eligible to vote, and there are 5 candidates running for office. However, according to Colombian law, if no candidate gets more than 50% of the vote, the top 2 go forward to a runoff, which will be on June 17th. This is the first presidential poll since a historic peace deal was struck back in 2016. The deal ended a 50-year conflict between the government and the Revolutionary Armed Forces of Colombia, known as FARC. And this election could very well have that peace deal hanging in the balance. Meanwhile, concerns grow over low voter turnout there in Colombia, a problem the nation has faced in past elections. CGTN's Michelle Begay examines the issue.
It's election season in Colombia, but not all citizens here are enthusiastic.
Because nothing ever changes in this country, because the candidates are the same, and you choose between the same corrupt people.
Colombia has a historically high abstention rate. In the last presidential election 4 years ago, a full 60% of eligible voters sat out. For many years, fears of violence amid an armed conflict and access were cited as reasons. Now, many analysts say politics and its politicians are excluding the masses.
Y ese 60% usted lo excluye.
Politicians need to include the 60% who don't vote, because instead, this benefits candidates who are radicals, who have a discourse against the establishment and against the system.
Colombia is one of just a few countries in South America where voting is a choice. Some suggest the government should follow its neighbor's lead and make voting compulsory.
Nosotros sí tenemos que pagar el pato.
But analyst Pedro Viveros says the issue is cultural, that Colombians are not